Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Fintech Show. I'm your host, Ali Patterson, and today you and I will be seeing how fintechs and banks alike are approaching the customer experience in 2019. We've been around the globe in this episode, chatting to Apteans in Atlanta, BBVA in Madrid, Westpac in Singapore, and Citizens Bank up in Boston. Firstly, over in Spain, Doug McKenzie sat down with BBVA's Gonzalez Rodriguez, who explained what he called the 4 pillars of customer service, a vital foundation to maintain customer satisfaction.
So, with an increasingly digital environment, how do you help keep the customer key at BBVA?
We have thousands of fintechs in the space attacking the ecosystem, very much focused on providing a very good experience to customers. No? So in this context, we truly believe that keeping the interaction with the customer, for keeping that, we need to develop an amazing customer experience. No? And developing this amazing customer experience in our vision relies on 4 pillars. No? First of all is making sure that customers can do everything from the mobile app in a very simple way, from becoming a new customer to bringing the direct debits to the bank to getting a product in a very simple way. Second, very important, is to make sure that we combine the best of technology and human advice. We still believe that customers do want human advice for things as investment, mortgages, planning for retirement, but we need to do this in a way that is fully integrated in the mobile app. So customers should be able to exchange conversations with their advice on the mobile app. They should be able to set up an appointment, and once they have decided to get a product or service, they should be able to sign up in the mobile app. So the idea is that customers, the best of the human advice and the best of technology combined. No? The third pillar for us in this in building this amazing customer experience is what we call advice, being able to help customers on a day-to-day basis with PFM tools, budgeting, goals account, and also helping them for life goals like getting a house or planning for retirement. No? And finally, the concept of fourth pillar is the concept of smart interactions. As customers go mobile, the frequency of interaction with them increases a lot. Customers interact with us 2-3 times or even once a day. And this opens up the possibility to offer new experiences and new products and services that were impossible in the past.
Up in Boston, Citizens Bank's Matt Richardson shared similar sentiments and explained their process of dealing with customer complaints.
On the commercial side, it does go back to trying to make it as easy to use as possible while making the system robust. In an ideal world for a commercial client, they have one-stop shopping. So the bank can be, I don't want to say complicated, but there's a lot that goes on in commercial banking. There's all sorts of products and services that a customer might use to help them run their business, to help them grow their business, etc. So the idea that you can make as much of a one-stop shopping experience for our clients so that they don't have to try to figure out how to navigate the bank, that they have a point of entry, I think that's critically important in the banking environment. And if you can make it easy for your corporate customer to access their products and services in the commercial bank, they're more likely to do more with you because you've made it easy for them to do it.
Let's just say, worst case scenario, something goes wrong.
Yep.
How do you look to handle that? How do you look to sort of handle the complaints and then turn that negative into a positive?
So, in the banking environment, things do happen. We're processing, millions and billions of transactions every year, and relying on, computers and systems and people to do all that. So things do happen in banking. So I think there's 2 parts of that. I think the first part is you have to be able to communicate with your client. So in our commercial online banking system, we have a robust system of alerts to let people know of not only their day-to-day transactions and actions they might need to take, but also to keep them informed of what's happening, even if there is our system issues, so that they're aware of that. And then the second thing is you need to be able to use that as a feedback loop, right? So things can happen where we might realize, hey, we should have made a certain piece of information available to our customer, or perhaps there's a way that they could have had a backup plan, and you can use that as a way to make sure that if you do have a similar issue or the client has a similar issue, then we have a better way forward. So that's another important part of it. The bank can have challenges, but so can the customer, and can we help them manage potential issues that they might have to ensure they still have a path to the bank. So all that's very important. That resiliency is very important.
In Singapore, Westpac's Michael Correa explained how banks need to alter their perception of modern customers.
So it's not a client walks into a branch or walks into an office and expects service. They're very much now looking at different forms of communication, whether it be directly through your smartphone, or it might be your email services, or it might be alerts you get through your messaging capability, WhatsApp, iMessage, all those different sorts of methodologies that people can talk to us on. At the same time, there is a change in the way that behaviour is occurring. So millennials don't want to go into a bank anymore. They look at a bank and say, do I trust the bank the same as I trust a fintech or a technology company? So how do we evolve that level of service that people look at a bank and say, firstly, I continue to trust you with my money. I'm going to work with you over a lifetime, not just a single point of a single transaction. So at some point in time, would I like to buy a house and I need credit, or maybe I want to set up a business? How do I work through those different parts of their life cycle to get to the goals that they set themselves? So very much about understanding what those needs are, and service is a big part of that. You can't just sit there and say, I've done my job because I provided one part of their value chain for them.
So how can banks quell customer qualms and improve their customer relationships as opposed to just neutralizing a bad situation? This is what Apteans' complaint management platform Respond is all about. Jenny Peng and Martin Wagstaff tell us more.
Customer experience is a topic that's very dear to my heart, because I think customers today are very tech savvy. They are much more innovative in terms of or technology aware, right? And then they're also very demanding. If you kind of look at today's world, everything has to be very personalized. It needs to know who you are when you're having interaction with a customer. For example, if I pick up a phone and I wanted to talk to my bankers, I expect my bankers to actually know who I am as soon as the call is picked up, and is able to comprehend all of the histories of my interactions with the bank. So there's a high demand in terms of that very tailored, very personalized customer experience. So our Respond product that's in the complaint industry, today we have customers that range from 3 to 5 users all the way to tier 1 banks. Our solutions are targeted at specialist complaint handlers and frontline specialists that are handling these complaints for our customers.
So with Respond, we support multiple different channels. We have inbound channels that we can support, which are the self-service portals, so customers can log their issues through a portal, and then the banks can pick those up and address them and take them through the normal journey. We'd have the social media side where we can actually read in the social media posts that customers are doing, and then again bring that through into the complaints journey. We also then from Respond have the ability to communicate out to customers, whether it be traditional letter, email, or send them SMS messages. We're looking now to close the loop, so in our latest version we're bringing out our survey functionality, which will look at closing that loop with the customer. So once they've gone through the complaints journey, getting the feedback and bringing that into the system and understanding. And the key difference between, let's say our survey module and other generic survey modules out there is that ours is contextualized to the problem. So when we send a survey out to a customer, we're not just sending a generic one, we're sending one that is actually contextualized around the problem that they had. So we're going to get more insight to how we dealt with that, so that we can learn from that and improve the process internally. But secondly, we're going to have the survey information aligned with the complaint and case data, and that provides more power. Root cause analysis is one of the key things that we drive from Respond. So making sure that we understand what the learnings were from each complaint and case that's been handled, and consolidating those and providing those back to management so they can address issues is fundamental.
I'm assuming as well it's scalable both ways, i.e. the more and more that they use it, the better they get at handling customer experience, so they may not need to handle as many complaints.
Yeah, what we're seeing today, really a lot of our customers are moving to the cloud. over 80% of our new business are now in the cloud, and that's really the trend. Typically, traditionally, Respond has been an on-prem solution, and we're seeing an acceleration of our customers being very confident with our cloud solution. We are today, approximately 20% of our customers have adopted our cloud solution, and we're seeing a tremendous growth in terms of helping the other customers to migrate. Our solution is hosted out of AWS, which gives us the scale and the storage and obviously a lot of the certifications and confidence in having a cloud vendor that can partner with us.
Finally, our interviewees speculate on the future of customer service in this rapidly changing industry.
When you're not operating from a branch anymore, as we're seeing in a lot of Asian countries, it's more digital, more over mobile. Do you think we're going to see a continuation of that trend?
Yeah, I can only talk about our home markets in Australia, where so far we haven't seen that kind of breakthrough in terms of, let's call it the digital or neo-banking that's occurred. Open banking is going to change that a little bit, because as we've seen, data becomes so critically important. And how do banks want to manage data? There's also a big issue on data sovereignty that still hasn't been resolved in many nations across Asia in particular. So, I think, like I've said before, you've got to be open to the possibilities. You've got to be openly curious about what's happening. And then you've got to experiment a little bit. We've got fantastic apps, the ability for customers to choose how they want to operate their daily banking activities. We've got the ability to use products like Tap and Go very, very easily. So you don't need to go to a branch. And there's different technologies evolving around how you potentially can get a home loan. There's different technologies on how you can manage your small business as well. So the question for us isn't necessarily we need to compete with that all the time. The question for us is how do we work with people that help deliver those solutions?
How do you see the customer experience changing towards the next sort of couple of years or so? Are we going to see the demands kind of in line with what people expect from your Amazon and Google at the moment? What's in your crystal ball?
Yeah, I do think that trend will continue. So our users of sort of commercial systems, they're all interacting with more consumer-based systems in their personal lives all the time. To your point, whether it's Amazon or iTunes or eBay or whatever it might be. So there's a certain expectation that's out there. So that absolutely filters down into what their expectations are on the commercial side. So from a commercial banking perspective, we have to continually evolve our services and offerings to make things, again, I hate to keep going back to it, but it really is, pretty simple. It has to be intuitive, it has to be easy to use, and you have to put in as much functionality as you can to meet the, what I would say are the more diverse needs of the commercial client versus the consumer client.
We have already completed the stage where customers can do everything from the mobile app, and customers do have the advisor fully integrated in the app, so they can get his human advice whenever they want so. So our next natural step is to really help customers even one step further, and we are developing the concept of the self-driving bank. So the idea is, how can we help customers to have a better day-to-day control of their finances, and how can we help customers to achieve their goals? Just to put an example, we have a solution where customers can log in and see the upcoming income and expenses for the next couple of months. We do a very good estimation of what's coming next for the next 8 weeks. This is good, but this is not enough. The idea is that not relying the customer on logging in and seeing the data. It would be to say, hey, Peter, you are getting your real estate tax 3 weeks from now, and you are very likely be overdraft. Why don't you, for instance, advance your payroll? Or why don't you bring money from your ING account to BBVA in order to avoid this overdraft? So the idea is to anticipate customer needs one step further, and even proposing the customer to automate that. So do you want that next time that you are going to be overdraft, we do this for you, and you don't have to do anything? So this idea of for customers to relax and forget about their finances and relying on BBVA to provide this day-to-day control, or helping them to better save, or helping them to plan for retirement, is a concept that we are strongly already working towards building these type of solutions.
As a company, we are getting better, or our customers are getting better in how they do business with their customers. And so understanding the complaint, resolving the complaints is sort of step one. But I think taking it to the next level is learning from those problems and those challenges or those issues, and be able to not have those recurred or happened again. So I think that's the key, and that's what helps our customers to be better at what they do.
How can the communication between the bank and their customer become more intuitive, i.e. not having to repeat the same thing again and again?
I think the system of record that is keeping track of the complaints and the cases is extremely important, because as different people handle that particular incident or it gets transferred to other departments, the history and all of the conversations, all of the notes and the points that are important to capture should travel and should always be available to whoever is addressing or helping that customer. And I think that's what makes that experience much more intuitive as well as very relevant for that customer.
Thanks for joining us for the Fintech Show. We'll see you next time when we're talking a little bit about KYC.